Hi everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So I am currently sitting on a ferry because I am heading back over to the Isle of Wight. So it has been a bit of an interesting morning because I have actually been to the boot fair this morning as well. So yeah, I left the house at about 3:30, and yeah, spent a couple of hours at the boot fair, went home, loaded the car up, and then yeah, we've got to Portsmouth. It's basically 10 to 12 now, so we've just got onto the ferry. I thought I'd film this part of the video before we headed off. But what I want to do with this week is actually do a series of videos of me doing some game hunting. So I want to go into the main town on the island. I'm hoping to go to a couple of the other shops that we visited last year, because we had some shops that were absolutely brilliant. There were a couple that were massively overpriced that I won't be visiting, and then I'm also hoping to do the boot fair next weekend as well. So this is going to be a bit of a vlog series, a bit different to just the straight up hunting that I normally do. So what we'll do is, once we get to where we're staying, I will show you about what we're staying. I'll show you the sort of games that I've brought with me as well. So for now, I am going to wrap it up there so I can get upstairs on the ferry. We'll get head off, and yeah, hopefully I will see you in about an hour or so. So here we are all checked in, and this is the caravan that we're going to be staying in for this week. It's a 2-bed caravan, but it is really spacious. So we've got the kitchen area just here, and the living room area just over here. Nice big TV for me to plug my Switch into, so I get to do some gaming while we're here as well. This room's going to be the little one's bedroom, and then this is the main bathroom. And then just over this side, this is going to be the master bedroom. And yeah, really nice caravan. We're actually on a holiday park in the Isle of Wight called Whitecliff Bay. It's one that we've stayed on every time we've come here. It's really nice site, really clean. And yeah, looking forward to another great week in the Isle of Wight. So on the second day of the trip to the Isle of Wight, I actually popped into the main town on the island, which is a town called Newport. And one of the first places that we visited was this comic book shop called Heroes. I popped in here last year and was just amazed by the range of stuff that they had. You'll see here they've just got absolutely stacked full of manga books, anime characters, absolutely, yeah. Literally didn't have the one that I wanted, which was High School of the Dead, but yeah, absolutely loads there. Just behind me then was probably the biggest selection of pop figures I've ever seen. And then as you can see, walking into this next room, it is just wall-to-wall action figures. We've got an absolutely massive selection of Star Wars figures there. And yeah, it was just really impressive. A couple of different bits on the shelves as well. Back over this side, you actually notice what I did notice, and I was looking at them a bit later on, was just to the right there a couple of Loungefly backpacks. We've got some of the figures in the cabinet as well. But yeah, just an absolutely amazing shop. No video games in this one, but definitely, as you, yeah, you get a better view of the range of pop figures. I've never seen that big a selection of pop figures in my life. But yeah, Heroes in Newport on the Isle of Wight, absolutely amazing store. The next shop that I'm going to be looking in is a shop that I actually tried to look in last year, but when I come to Newport it was actually closed. And this is a shop called Chips. So you'll see there it has got an absolutely superb selection of CD-based games. I wasn't seeing too many cartridge-based games when I was in the shop, but I wasn't in there for too long. The big problem I had when I was in here is a couple of titles that I did look at didn't have any prices on. And what I found last year when I was some of the other shops that I went into, if they didn't have prices on, normally what they were doing was jumping on CEX, looking at the price on CEX, and then adding a couple of quid to the top of the price. So yeah, when I saw that they didn't have prices listed, I didn't really stick around too long. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know how this shop operates. This is the first time I've ever been in there. But I will say, I thought the way that they had the games laid out was absolutely brilliant. So you see that they've got multiple copies of things, and it's all together. Yeah, I just picked out Monkey Island there. But that's when I found out they didn't have prices on. That's when I sort of decided to give it a miss. As I say, rightly or wrongly, I didn't actually ask them at all about pricing. But equally, nothing really jumped out to me either. In here, it was a lot of the common titles, and a lot, especially with the Xbox 360 ones that I'm looking at. I think it was mostly everything I had already in the collection. So it wouldn't be a trip out if I didn't swing into CX and have a look and see what they had. So just looking over, I think last year when we were in here, I actually picked up a boxed NES game. I think it was Marble Madness I picked up from here. Looking at the retro games, it was all pretty much the same sort of stuff that we were seeing anywhere. I will say they did have an absolutely amazing selection of Pokemon games on the Game Boys. You see there, you can see sort of red, blue. I think there was, yeah, a couple of others. I can't see them on the actual footage, but yeah, quite a good selection there. And then popping around the other side to where all the other games are. First off, I was looking at the Wii U games. I think last year as well, we picked up a Wii U game here as well. I think it was one of my, either the first or second Wii U game that I actually added to the collection was from here. And it was Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, I think it was called. So just having a look, just seeing what games they had. What I'm doing is I'm picking up various games as I'm walking around, and then at the end I will make a decision on what I want. So just having a look at the PS4, and then I go on and have a look at the Switch titles as well. So yeah, what I'll be doing is we've got this week's video and next week's video, which will be covering me out and about on the Isle of Wight. And then the video after that will actually be going through everything I've picked up on the Isle of Wight trip. I can definitely tell you that there are some absolutely brilliant games. And actually quite a few wishlist games that I've been able to put on as well. So, completely unrelated to video games, I just had to include it in this video, was a shop. We're actually in a separate town now. We're actually near where we were staying, a place called Sandown. And this shop is called The Rock Shop, and it is just a shop that's dedicated to everything sweets. You can get fudge, you can get rock sticks. I can never remember what you call them. But yeah, there is just an absolutely amazing selection in here, and every time we come to the Isle of Wight, the wife and the little one always come in. They spend a whole load of money. And yeah, this time was no exception. But yeah, it is an absolutely brilliant shop, and you just get some bits as well that you don't see anywhere else. They've got a little section there of American sweets. The other side is more of the sort of cheap sweets that you would pick up at the corner shop when you went. But yeah, as you can see, just an absolutely amazing selection. I think most of it as well is made in store. They've actually got a kitchen out the back where I think a lot of this is made as well. So yeah, a really, really nice shop to visit. The shop we're just about to go in here is a shop called Curiosity. And I'm going to put up how it's spelt on the screen. This is one of the two shops that I was really desperate to visit, because even though they've got a relatively small selection of games, I find every time I come in here they have such a brilliant selection, and this time was no different. You'll see there we've got Super Mario Bros. 2, Pokemon Y, and yeah, there are just so many great games there. I will say, I think Mario 2, Mario World 2, they had it for about 18. Pokemon Y was on for about 30, which is about what they go for. But what I did notice was they had some Game Boy Advance games that were complete in box, and they were doing them for £4. So yeah, they weren't great games, but at £4, I will say I wasn't going to leave them behind. So I think Stuart Little 2 there as well. There is some damage to the box, but yeah, I wasn't going to leave them. And then yeah, just having a look through the other shelves, a lot of it is, there's a lot of PS4, Xbox One, and I'll be honest, I can't even remember what I've picked up from here. But I did end up sort of coming back later in the week as well. Yeah, Box Sonic on the Master System, I think. I remember rightly, that was priced up at about £15. But I've got it cart only at the moment, so for that, didn't really want to spend that on it. So yeah, absolutely brilliant shop. This was one of the top shops that I wanted to visit while I was on the island. As I say, we come in here last year, and we got some absolutely brilliant games out of here. I know we got BMX game on the PS1. I think we actually got a couple of N64 carts as well. So yeah, really, really good shop. As I say, it's just a small game selection. The rest of it is more sort of collectibles and things like that. The wall just behind me is all sort of like toys and things like that. And then they've actually got some cabinets just next to the tills, where they've got DS and Game Boy loose carts. I had a look, there was nothing really in there. So yeah, I gave them a miss.
It's all different shops in here. Wilton's took a big part of it.
So one thing that we actually got to experience this year, which we've missed out on every other time that we've been to the island, is something called the Sandown Illumination Carnival. So this is a carnival procession through the main high street, and it happens towards the end of August. And essentially what it is it's from what the wife was telling me, it is a celebration of the holiday season coming to an end. And what they do is it's made up of floats that are put together by various groups. I think it's like dance clubs and different groups like that. And basically they parade sort of through the town. And yeah, it's a bit of a celebration of essentially a successful holiday season. But yeah, there were some absolutely amazing groups that were walking through. And I just want to go through, just show a couple of them. So another bit of the carnival that I absolutely loved was this section here, where it was literally just people in various different costumes. You'll see there's a couple of people in Frozen outfits. We've got a Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy. I don't actually know what those they're meant to be. Yeah, there's just a whole load of different outfits. See, there's another Spider-Man over the other side there. Various sort of cosplays as well. And as we get a bit further on, we've got, see, there's a Harley Quinn there. And then we get into Marvel and Star Wars. So we've got Doctor Strange. I will admit, I did have to say that I think that costume was set up really well. We've got Thor. And yeah, some of the Star Wars characters as well. So yeah, just really, really good. And just such a fun atmosphere. It was definitely really enjoyable. So to wrap out the first couple of days on the Isle of Wight, just after the Illumination Carnival, we actually headed on to the Sandown Pier. And at the moment I'm at the sort of tail end of the pier, which is very, it's been sort of maintained in sort of an old style, as an old style pier. I thought it just looks absolutely amazing. Down this end you've got so the bit that you saw just there at the beginning was like a donut shop. We actually come back the following morning and we got some donuts and coffee from there. And then as you go further down, it's a small little amusements, or sort of small little fun fair more than anything. So a couple of bits here where they're sort of self-service. And then just up the end there's some dodgems as well. We didn't get to come out here when we come back the following day because the weather was absolutely atrocious. So they had all this sealed off. You couldn't get up here. And I think that's why we aimed to come back the following day. But yeah, it was just absolutely amazing. Really amazing to see that sort of a pier like this has been sort of kept and maintained. But what we do is after this, I do head in and have a go on some of the arcade machines. So what I'll do is I'm going to wrap the video up here. What I'll do is I'll leave you with a couple of glimpses of some of the games that I ended up jumping on. And what we'll do is in next week's video, we've got some more game hunting and some more activities that I get up to while we're in the Isle of Wight.